Hello,
Mm.
everybody, and welcome to another episode of Macabre and Company. My name is George.
And I am Erica. Welcome back, everyone.
We're so excited to have you here for another episode as we delve into the dark, the mysterious, the spooky, and just talk about something random that creeps us out that we found on the internet and decided to research a little bit.
Yes, I can't wait to hear what George has today. I have just washed my hair. I am cozy. I have my matcha. I'm ready to
You are
listen.
ready? Well, Erica, imagine waking up in a room, the lights flickering above you, your head's pounding, your mouth's dry. You try to remember how
Did
you
I
got
forget
there.
to put my mouth tape on last night?
I think you did. You can't remember how you got to
Okay.
this room, but the memory slipped through your fingers like sands in an hourglass. You just can't remember. There's a mirror on the wall, or at least you think it's a mirror. But on the other side, someone is watching. Someone who knows exactly how you got here because they put you here.
Oh no.
For 20 years, the United States government ran a secret mind control experiment so disturbing, so unethical, that it sounds like the plot of a horror movie. But this was no fiction, Erica. This was real.
No.
And it was called
Oh my
Project
gosh.
MK Ultra. Insert
Oh
spooky
no.
sounds.
Oh my gosh. Woo. Oh my gosh. MK Ultra. Let's go.
What if I told you that people were drugged without their consent, that the government tested psychological torture, hypnosis, and mind-erasing techniques on everyday citizens, students, prisoners, even soldiers? And what if I told you that much of it was covered up, and that some believe the experiments never really stopped and are still happening to this very day? Tonight, we're pulling back the
I would
curtain on
believe
one
you.
of the most terrifying and mysterious government programs ever exposed. Welcome to Macabre& and Company, where we explore the shadowy history of MK Ultra and government cover-ups. So
Oh my
Project MK
gosh.
Ultra was born in the early 1950s. During the height of the Cold War, the CIA feared that the Soviet, Chinese, and North Korean forces had developed mind control techniques that could turn prisoners into brainwashed agents. Like this, the US believed this. So to fight fire with
Yeah.
fire, the US government launched its own experiments. But instead of using trained military personnel, they turned to unwitting civilians.
That's
Can
so
you imagine?
scary.
I know. And totally believable too. Maybe I read too much on
100%.
the internet.
Yeah, I absolutely believe it.
So the idea was simple. Could a person's mind be erased and rewritten? Could a normal citizen be turned into an unwilling assassin, triggered by a simple phrase? The CIA wanted to know, and they were willing to go to terrifying lengths to find out. But what
Oh my
they did
gosh.
was far beyond anything that the public could have imagined. LSD dosing, sleep deprivation, electroshock therapy, and in one of the most bizarre MK Ultra operations, the CIA even set up fake brothels, secretly drugging their clients while agents watched from behind a two-way mirror. What happened?
What?
Yeah. What happened to the victims? What was the CIA really hoping to achieve? And most importantly, did the experiments ever really stop? Join us as we uncover the terrifying truth behind, again, MK Ultra. I mean, cool name for a conspiracy theory
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
project.
It really
MK
it
Ultra.
really pulls you in. Yeah.
It sounds like one of those like 90s like malted beverages. Like
Oh
Smirnoff
yeah.
Ice, MK
It
Ultra
it's
vodka edition.
it, it sounds like some kind of running race that I really want to run in that's like really
Go.
hard and goes through a volcano or something.
Of course, I would go to alcohol and you would go to sports. That makes total sense. Okay, so to understand the full scope of MK Ultra, we have to go back to its classified beginnings. So, in 1953, CIA Director Alan Dulles approved the project placing it under the control of Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, a chemist with a disturbing interest in altering the human mind. His goal? To develop
Ooh.
a way to control thoughts, erase memories, and even create mind-controlled assassins. Like, so they wanted to be able to, like, say a word to someone and then that person be like, got it, I'm gonna go shoot this person, right? Like, so
Yeah.
they plant this memory,
Did
they lock it
yeah.
up, and then when they hear the word, like, I don't know, cactus,
Orange.
orange, koala,
Yeah.
anything, then they go nuts and they do the government's bidding.
Did you ever watch Riverdale? The
I
like
started
spin off the
watching
dark
Riverdale.
Riverdale?
No, I watched a little bit of it, but
They have like a whole mind control plot line in like season 6, I think. I don't know. I don't remember what season, but Betty gets mind controlled. Anyway,
wait, there
great
was a
show.
spin-off called Dark Riverdale?
No, it's the dark like Riverdale. It's a very dark. It's
Oh, yes,
not
yes, yes,
like
yes, yes.
fun cartoony. Yeah.
Wasn't that is oh yeah, what the live action one? Wasn't that a spin-off from Sabrina? The Grim
Sabrina
Adventures or the
kind of fits right in. Sabrina, there were only 4 seasons. And it runs parallel. So they do Sabrina like pops in one of the
oh,
seasons
they
as
do
well.
like
But I believe
crossovers, right?
Riverdale started first. Yeah.
Oh.
I think yeah.
And Riverdale's based
Anyway,
on the Archie comics. Yes.
yeah.
Got it.
It's
Yeah.
really great. I really enjoyed it. And they did mind control. Anyway, that's my sidebar.
So at first, the tests were small. CIA agents recruited volunteers, many of them from universities, telling them that they were going to be participating in harmless psychological experiments. But soon the tests grew a little bit darker than what everyone was expecting. LSD was secretly given to prisoners, mental patients, and even CIA operatives themselves, all to see how the human mind could be broken and rebuilt. Now,
Who was like the first? I want to know who the first guy was like in a meeting. It had to be more than one person, right? Like you can't just be the only person dosing people with LSD. Like, are they sitting around like, hey, George, do you know what would be funny? Like, let's see what happens if we give them a bunch of drugs. And you're like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Like, who's the first guy sitting around going, yeah, we should dose him?
I know, well, they probably tried it themselves first a little bit and said, you know what? I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
You
They
think?
drop.
I
Well,
mean,
for sure they
yeah.
drop it. They're like, wow, my mind is expanding. I bet we could do this to other people.
Yeah. So one of the most infamous cases was the case of Frank Olson, a US Army scientist unknowingly dosed with LSD by his own colleagues. Days later, he fell or was pushed out of a 13-story hotel window in New York City. Officially ruled a
No.
suicide, many believe that Olson was murdered to keep MK Ultra's secrets from getting out. Another
Yeah.
victim was James Stanley, a US Army sergeant who was unknowingly drugged during his service. When he began suffering from severe mental health issues, he discovered that he had been one of the many unwilling test subjects. His lawsuit against the government was ultimately dismissed, further proving how deeply the cover-up ran. Like, people were like, no, 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 I signed up for this and this isn't what I was told and I messed up now.
Mm.
But I don't
Wow.
know. I mean, psychedelics and stuff, I mean, it makes you see and like some weird things and could potentially make people do. I mean, you hear stories of people doing like crazy amounts of like LSD or mushrooms or something and just
Yeah.
thinking the world's like just doing crazy stuff because you think you're like
Yeah.
either invincible or you see something crazy. Yeah. There's like
Yep.
so many stories if you
Was
Google it of people like doing drugs and then like trying to kill people on drugs, like mushrooms and
mhm.
psychedelics because they think they're someone else or, you know.
Yeah.
There was that one guy that
Psychedelics
remember
are
he like
yeah.
he was a like a pilot or a co-pilot, but he was flying on a plane and he got up to go to the cockpit to try and he turned the airplane off and he blamed it on mushrooms that he did that the day before.
No, I did not hear about that one. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, we'll sidebar on that one. That's messed up. Yeah, some
Wow.
guy, it wasn't
That
that
is
long
messed
ago.
up.
I guess he was asleep on the plane. He woke up. He worked for the airline, so he was trusted. He got into the cockpit and he turned the airplane off. And
Whoa.
then they got it back on and everything. And then he was arrested. And then he was like,
Yeah.
I took mushrooms this weekend for the first time, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I've done lots of mushrooms in my life, and I've never wanted to kill a plane full of
Yeah,
people.
I've
But
same. Girl, same.
then there was another Canadian woman, actually. Oh, do you know her? Her name was
Ooh.
Val Orlico. Orlicow? A Canadian
Yeah,
woman.
Val, we go way back.
A Canadian woman subject to horrific psychological experiments. Her husband later discovered that the CIA had funded the hospital where she was being treated for something else, and she became one of the first victims to speak publicly about the abuses. So she was a patient already in a hospital, receiving treatment. The CIA were
Mm.
funding this hospital and doing secret experiments on patients there, and obviously their families didn't realize because it was covered up.
That
Hmm.
is a problem. Like that's not like I have concerns. I'm gonna be really paranoid after this, aren't I?
Yeah. And then there was Dr. Ewan Cameron, a Canadian psychiatrist funded by the CEA. Cameron's treatment for mental illness involved putting patients into drug-induced comas, playing looping audio messages for days, and using electric shock therapy at levels far beyond normal medical practice. Some patients emerged with no memory of their past lives before that, reduced to childlike states, and others just didn't recover at all, and they were just vegetables forever.
I want to hear those tapes. Like, what is on those tapes? What are they
Oh
saying?
my gosh, I
The
know.
tape.
But like the whole that takes electric shock therapy itself was just insane. Like that blows my mind that they were just like, let's just electrocute people through their heads.
Yeah.
And they thought it
Um,
worked.
the, there is still. I don't know if you've read Carrie Fisher's book, Shockaholic. Like in certain doses, it has been proven really therapeutic for bipolar, and she talks about like how often she was getting it, and but they call it something different now, like electrostimulation therapy or something.
Yeah.
Um,
But does it make you
and
go like they do on the
well, I don't
TV?
know. I wasn't with her. I'm not
Oh my
sure. Carrie
gosh.
Fisher did not invite me to her doctor appointments.
Can you please go and get it done and let us know how it feels?
Sure, I'll get right on that.
So by the early 1970s, whispers of these experiments began to leak. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered most MK Ultra documents destroyed to prevent the truth from coming out. But few files survived. And in 1975, the public got its first real glimpse into the horrors of MK Ultra during Senate hearings led by Frank Church.
Ooh.
During these hearings, John Marks, a journalist and researcher, exposed more declassified files, shedding light on the extent of the experiments. Another whistleblower, Dr. Colin Ross, later revealed how psychiatric hospitals were used as CIA testing grounds, manipulating patients under the guise of therapy. So they would also lie and they'd be like, oh, yeah, we've got some great therapy for you coming in, but really they were experimenting on them, but telling the patients that they were getting treatment for what they needed treatment for, but it was just
They're
an
like,
easy way to get some
just
lab rats.
kidding. Here's a bucket of LSD.
So despite the a bucket of LSD, whew, despite the hearings, no one was ever held accountable. The victims forgotten, the scientists were free to walk away, and the biggest question remains, did the experiments really stop? Many believe that MK Ultra evolved into modern psychological warfare, interrogation tactics, and possibly even covert operations still in use today. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, there's so many theories if you go into the internet about like what a lot of these places are that we have these like take Area 51 for example, right? People
Yeah, I was
say
just gonna say Area 51.
yeah, people say aliens, that's where we have spacecrafts. Great. I believe all that. I believe it's there, but I believe that this facility is used for other stuff. Some people do as well. There's experiments there. People even think there's human breeding going on there. Like they're breeding humans to continue these experiments. If we look into
Oh
pop
my God.
culture, we've been referenced. MK Ultra has been kind of referenced in movies and conspiracy theories, in podcasts all over the place, but even in modern storytelling, right? Like, let's look at Stranger Things, for example. very heavily influenced the first season with 11 and those kids that were being influenced and experimented on, for their
Um,
powers, that sort of thing. Lots of other movies that and TV shows use this theory of experimentation to kind of create um these super spies and stuff, right? What was that? There was
yeah.
one movie, I want to say it was Scarlett Johansson, but I don't think it was, where she played an assassin and then there was a secret word. I don't know.
Oh,
Was it Scarlett
I
Johansson?
do recall the movie. I haven't seen it in ages, but yes, I know what you're talking about, and I can't picture it.
Yeah. Something like she only used like 10% of her, or like, I think the opening is like humans only use 10% of their brain.
Yeah.
Remember? But she used like
Hmm.
all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very that. But
How
yeah,
true is that that we only use 10% of our brain?
I think it's been debunked on like Mythbusters and stuff.
I'm sure it has been, but like how much are we really using? I have so many questions about the brain.
I know. I mean, consciousness though, it just in general, for me.
It's wild.
It's
Yeah.
my biggest thing is like what happens to our consciousness when we die. Because listen,
Mm,
right? When you think people go, well, just think about it. When you weren't alive, what are your memories from not being alive? Nothing,
yeah.
right? From before we were born.
Hmm.
But we didn't have a conscious then. Now we have a consciousness.
Yeah.
When we die, we're going to be like, oh my God, I'm dead. Just in a dark room.
Yeah. I
Maybe
definitely
it's
want
like
to
just
float
taking the
around and haunt some
ultimate
people.
nap, you know?
I want to be haunting bitches for ages.
Oh, me too. So that, but essentially that's,
Oh my gosh,
and
do you think we can haunt together?
I don't know, you're all the way in Australia.
Yeah,
And
but
think
I'll be able
about
to get
all
to
the
your
dead
house first.
spiders that are haunting your house in Australia. Like definitely not
I
coming.
don't
If
know
I'm
if
not coming
spiders
now, I'm not coming when
haunt.
I'm dead either.
I don't know if spiders haunt.
I don't know. If we get ghost spirits, then I'm sure animals and insects do, right?
Why? Why are you sure?
Why would humans be like, you know? Also,
I
I
think because
honestly, sorry, go.
I was saying why are you sure? Because I think a lot of the ghosts, a lot of the theories are, ghosts have something unfinished business or have that like consciousness and that cognitive ability that, spiders just don't have.
I know that's true. But I often see here in this house, like a dog. I always think it's Parker or Simon, and lots of times they're not even in the room. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, because I think one of them's following me, or someone walks past, or I'm in the kitchen and I turn around because I think one of them's there and there's not one there. But I've like seen a dog out the corner of my eye. Like, I think a dog had died in this apartment at some point, like a little white dog like Parker, but
Yeah.
like a Westie or something. Because I see it happens all the time. I think I'm seeing it. I think that
That
one of the
is,
dogs is there and they're not.
well,
Like I see something
dogs, I don't
move.
know. Ghost dogs, I would believe before ghost spiders. I just don't feel like ghost spiders have that much agency. I
Yeah,
don't
but
think spiders are that like uh excited to stick around.
I mean, you don't know. I mean, I don't know. Do they have consciousness?
I
Yes.
I kind of just don't want to think about it. I just don't want to think about ghost spiders because the ghost plane would be so full if we have ghost, like every bug that dies is just a ghost now.
Oh my God. The ghost
There's
plane
just
is already overly populated. Like, that's the
right.
problem as well for me. Like, what if we do, like, we change planes and then we're like, oh God, everyone's here still. Grandma, like, you're here still. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, so and so, you're here. But then you're like, but yes, we are, but we also share this house with 800 other ghosts.
Yeah, exactly. There's too many ghosts. I need to not believe in ghost spiders. So that I'm drawing the line at ghost spiders.
Okay, no ghost
Not because I don't like
spiders.
spiders, but ghost insects. Just ghost insects in general. That's too many. It's too many ghosts for me. I cannot comprehend it and I choose to not believe it.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Erica
There are no
is a
ghost
no on the
insects.
ghost spiders.
There's no ghost insects. I'm
Got
calling
it.
it.
Well, that's a little bit on MK Ultra. I mean,
Do you
there's
think
so
they're still
much more.
experimenting?
I do. There's a lot of people. on the internet, obviously. I was reading this one guy's conspiracy theories, like Blue Sky account. It's like one of the conspiracy theory ones, and he says that all these people that are going missing, he's like, are actually involved in this. He's like, so many children go missing every year in the United States. Only a certain percentage of are found, or cases are like, closed. So he's
Yeah.
like, that's where they're going. Also, people that think they've been abducted by aliens, all these alien abduction accounts, right? If we think of like the Fermi
Mm.
paradox and we think of how actually, is it quite impossible? It's likely that it's impossible that another species could get here through space, right? If we think
Mm.
of that theory, then who's abducting
Yeah.
these people and where are they getting these experiences from? Are they getting these experiences from from humans? How do we know that like flying saucers aren't actually just the government's
Mm.
spacecrafts? You know?
Yeah.
How do we know
That
that
is a
these isn't
really good point.
right? How do we know that these alien abductions are actually alien abductions? When maybe they're just
We don't.
secret government operatives capturing people, anal probing them, and not for a good
And
time,
blaming it on aliens.
blaming it on aliens.
Yeah.
Because podcasts like ours will always
Mm.
believe in aliens.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Anyway.
MK Ultra and
But
mind control.
also Men in Black, right? The whole like memory erasing thing.
Yeah, the flashy do.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Yeah.
that. Maybe they were trying to
Yeah.
make a flashy do. And people say that the Men in Black are a real thing. We should do an episode on the Men in Black because
Oh yeah,
there's
that'd
a
be a good
strong
one.
belief in them, and that would make sense that they were maybe a an offshoot from something like this too.
Hmm. Yeah,
There's that
absolutely. I wonder. Yeah. Mhm.
there's one really famous security footage clip of the Men in Black walking into that building. Have you seen that one?
Yeah. No.
So it's this it's basically security footage of someone had like recalled an account of like seeing a UFO or something, and then later on was recalling a visit from, as they're older, recalling a visit from like two men in black suits and stuff that came and kind of warned them off,
Mm.
scared them off from continuing the
Ah.
story. And there's actual security
Okay,
footage of two men in black walking in.
maybe I'll do that next week. I'll do some research and I'll get back to you next week.
Oh my
We'll
God.
continue
The Men in
this.
Black episode next week.
Yes, next week.
Well, I hope
I've
that
got an
opens
11
some
and a
of
half
your
hour plane ride to
minds.
Canada.
Oh,
I'll
fun.
I'll I'll research on the plane ride.
Yeah.
Yes, I hope everyone your interest is piqued and you I want to know if you believe. What do
Let
you
us know what
believe,
you guys
everybody?
think, yeah, about MK
Yeah.
Ultra. Comment, like, subscribe, email us, tell us when you see us in person. Do you think
Yeah.
MK Ultra was a real thing? It's on the internet. It's out there, folks. The truth is out there.
It The truth is out there. You can email us at macabreandcompany@gmail.com. You can drop us a line and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Macabre and Company. We would love it if you would hop into your podcast app before you go and give us a little 5 stars there and drop your favorite conspiracy theory. And maybe we will research that for the next time. But above all, friends, make sure you always
Stay spooky.
stay spooky. I have my stay spooky thing over here, but I can't reach it. Stay spooky.
Bye, friends.
Bye.